Hello on there. Welcome to Saturday body rolling class at LotusVoice on there. Today we're going to be starting off with some leg work on here. I got a bench out to do this work on here, partly so you can see me a little bit better, but you could use a heavy-duty coffee table if you wanted to. You could actually go to your mattress. Work on your bed. That will actually soften the work up a little bit on there. You could do this on a couch, and we're going to get started on there with some leg and hip release on here. So we're going to a silver ball on there. You're going to sit on it, your right sit bone, so that you can circle around that sit bone on there. Yeah, so got a silver ball and a black ball here. Get a couple of black balls. And as you circle around the sit bone, that large kind of knob-like structure, one on each side of the pelvis on there. And you're going to come to rest on directly underneath that sit bone on there. It should feel like it's centered in the ball. Take a moment there, let your body weight sink down. I want you to kind of check your feet on the floor. If you're way up on your toes on there, bring those heels down. Notice the difference of the musculature that's working in your legs on there. We're going to back up just a little bit so that you can find the front leading edge of your pubic bone on there. We're going to lean forward just a little bit. If you're using a bench, you can pull your pelvis down into this area, and we're going to do just a little left to right shift on there. I want you to start listening on the inside of your leg for some tight musculature, something that you can begin to feel a little bit of pull and drag. A little bit of pull and drag going out towards your knee. And you want to stop when you get that little bit of a burn feeling on there. Something that catches you. I want you to take your fingertips on there. So your brain has created that sensation, and you're going to go explore it with your fingertips. Walk your fingers down on those muscles on there. And we're going to take a little break and go to the door and let people know that I'm not allowed to teach class. So hold on just a moment. I'm going to call you. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye. Yes. Hello. That's live on there. Okay. So back to under the sit bone on there. Take your fingers, and you're feeling amongst that kind of, there's some stuff that's a little sharper, it's a little tighter, it's a little less soft muscle feeling. It's got a little bit more edge to it on there. I want you to pin it down and just kind of gently push that material towards your knee on there. And then we're going to drag the pelvis in the other direction on there. Sink down into your foot on there. Draw across, and then you're going to get taller through the chest on there. Bring your head back. I want you to pull the shoulder blade back. We're going to do just a little circle of extension 3 times in one direction, and then you're going to go 3 times in the other direction. Pin down. On there. Let's release that. Now you're going to follow that line with the ball. This is where you have to watch your edge just a little bit. You're going to shift your weight over and just climb up into that tight piece of muscle. You should be able to kind of balance on there, kind of like your entire body is, what are those, mobiles on there? You're looking for that center point on there that you can keep your leg soft and extended, just a little bit of reach. You want those tight muscles to do the work for you. As you extend your toe, we're going to start to do a search on here. Circle your foot 3 times, searching, and notice how each degree feels a little different. You're going to note where you find the tightest spot on that first circle, and then you're going to go the other direction. And you're listening for resistance, places where maybe it cramps up in your hip on there, something that starts talking to you. And you're going to choose a point to stop your foot where you get the best stretch for yourself. And then you're going to move across that circle in a straight line. Flex and point your foot. Now try 90 degrees across your circle. One of those 2 motions is going to give you a better stretch for yourself on there. Once you stop there, choose it, sink down. All right, we're going to soften the knee. And back up one more time. Again, watch your edge here. Get a little bit closer to the knee on there. You, of course, work on the longer part of the bench on there. Okay, let's do it that way. Sink into your hip and thigh. Breathe slowly into that. Again, work on pulling your pelvis away from the mid-thigh area. And then continue to follow that line closer to your knee. And each time we're going to let it sink in. So notice you can kind of grip the end of the mattress or the bench that you're working on. If you're working on your couch, you can kind of dig your heel down into between the couch cushions to give yourself a little extra traction as you breathe into that. Now, we're going to follow that line back up. Hi. Hey. We're not allowed to have class by government order, and I apologize. I did not let you know. I did not let anybody know. And so I'm on the internet right now, on YouTube. You want to just stay on here? Yeah, on there. I've already answered the door because Sarah showed up, so at this point, it's just going to be more on there. So, but yeah, since we're not. YouTube on there, and whoever, I don't think there's anybody out there watching me right now. So anyway, so yes, Governor Whitmer declared that all the classrooms had to shut down. No, about 5 days ago on that. So, and then, so that is that until further notice. I think we're going to the end of the month at this point. Yeah, I'm there, but it's the apocalypse. So, how are things holding up for you on there? Mm-hmm. I'm using this to keep it together on there. that 2 weeks on there. If anybody's watching this, I'm supposed to be writing a book. Getting all this stuff done. I can't really see clients right. Zoom is maybe we can go a little more like interactive where I can see. And then we'll be back. I apologize for my system.
Oh, you're fine. I hear you.
Yeah.
So I can't get
Thank you. I love you too. And then we'll see you sometime in the future. Okay. Moving into that there. Let's go to the other side. So take it to the left sits bone. You're going to pin it and start circling around your sits bone. Other direction, feel the shape of it. It's a round knob feeling to you from the outside. Its structure is actually kind of like a donut hole on there. It's got this beautiful ring that gives a lot of space for muscles to attach and run across your pelvis and out to the greater trochanter of your hip and the long bone of the femur on there. So we're going to bring that ball to a stop and we're going to roll front to back, find the line of the pelvis on there, and then we're going to shift left to right and back up just a little bit until you can find that front leading edge of the pubic bone on there. Sink in, lean forward, open that up. Again, check your foot on there. Notice if your heel's coming up off the ground on there, and sink down. Breathe into that on there. As you lean forward, you're going to listen for a tight line coming down the inside of your thigh. You're going to reach down and you're going to take your fingers and you're going to put them where the sensation shows up on there. And I want you to realize that there is a texture that goes along with the sensation. There's always going to be a lumpy, chunky bit right where you're feeling the sensation. And that texture is the point where the tissue has adhesions, where musculature is overly compacted on there, and the flavor of the sensation that's appearing in your head is describing the mechanical issue that's occurring. And again, if you can check your heel, my heel is coming up on there. Don't even know if that's making the shot. So we're going to now follow that line, stretch your leg out over the length of the bench so that you can now climb onto that tight line of muscle. And there, again, shift your weight over into the other hip. See if you can start to let your legs start to hover just a little bit. And we're going to search by circling your foot. Now, notice that my leg is moving up here at the hip as I circle my foot. That's a clue for me to use on there. I can't move my foot without engaging some of the musculature of my leg. That means that that's happening when I'm walking or standing. And if I reach down and stick my fingers where the muscle is contracting, there's a very tight, kind of dense area of musculature in there. That is an opportunity for me to get longer and more functional, and for you to get more long and functional. You find your own lumpy, chunky bits on there, make them softer, make them longer, and that equals more strength and space in your body on there. Now, if you want to remember how to work on some of these areas later, because we're going to continue this roll down the leg. A great thing to do is prep yourself with a roll of painter's tape and have a few of these little pieces of tape ready on there, and you can just stick a piece of tape on your body right above, on your clothes, right above where you found that piece of texture, so that later You don't have to recall it in your memory. You can just go look down. You can even write yourself a note on the tape and say, describe what kind of sensation you were feeling in that area so you can recall it later on there. All right, so we've got a nice release on that line. We're going to drag the body to the right on there. Sharp edge on this thing. So as you find the line on there, sink down, breathe into it, shift your weight just a little bit on there, lean into that line. And then again, work on pulling your pelvis across, away from the leg where the ball is. You can hold with your hand and create a little extra separation. And sink in, breathe. One more move, just above your knee. Notice how my kneecap is out to the front out here. It's not up towards the ceiling, which is going to put you in the hamstring muscles in the back of this adductor group on there. We want everything turned, nice knee front, so we can lengthen on there. One last deep breath, and let's roll off to the side and shake everything out. Stand up, take a quick lap around your chair or your bench that you're working on and see what you've accomplished in your life. Okay, so let's take that silver ball one more time. We're going to sit on it with your right sit bone. Straddle your bench or your chair, circle that right sit bone. And we're going to search for a place that feels kind of tighter and more dense on there, and you're going to grab onto it with the silver ball. Like you've got a nice grip. We're going to walk the leg out so you feel like you can brace yourself on there, and we're going to tip your body up and away from that ball. And we're looking to bring the floating ribs and the fixed ribs away from your pelvis on there. Let your arm hang down as you tip over, and you're looking for some information coming from the musculature just above that. I want you to take your fingertips in there and start to press and pin just above your pelvic crest into that hammock of muscles on there. There's no bone here. Pin it down and hold, and you're going to start to circle your pelvis. Think of that circle as a search radius on there, like radar. Go the other direction. As you move, what you're interested in is where you are stuck. You're really not interested in where it's easy for you to move. You want those places where it hurts just a little bit, or it gets just a little sore. It's going to feel very not free, even if it doesn't hurt on there. Sink down, hold one line, and you're going to tip over even farther. And I want you to think about going in two directions here. You're pressing down into the floor with your leg, and you're reaching the rib cage up and out of your pelvis on there. Imagine that you could, those like clown barrel pants that you could hold down the entire top on there, like half of a horse suit on there. You can climb out of the inside. You're lifting and pulling the spine. Now we're gonna work the rib cage in a circle. The pelvis is not moving on this one. You are circling the rib cage. The ball stays stationary at your pelvis. And feel the load shift over the leg. And I want you to choose one place that feels like it kind of flares up on the inside of your leg on there, somewhere down the front. Hold at that point, and I want you to take your other fingers and pin that set of muscle right there. And start to explore the relationship that runs through this line. you're going to be on some sort of lumpy, chunky bit at the top of your pelvis, and something that probably is going to feel pretty burny and sore down near your knee. Breathe into it. Again, think about spreading out multi-directionally, down through your leg, lifting and shifting up through the torso. And let that release. Take it around for a couple more circles just to finish off, releasing that. And then we're going to stand up and see how that line feels. Take a moment there as you're standing and check out the weight distribution on your feet. Does it feel like things are more in the heel or spread out to the outer edge of your foot? Breathe into the torso. Feel the lightness and length in the leg that we worked on there. That sense of lightness, that sense of weight difference in the leg comes from a greater number of muscle cells working. Muscle cells that weren't able to activate and carry a load before, and now this is an option for them. Okay, so we're going to take that ball and do the left sits bone. Straddle the ball, straddle your bench, and pin your sits bone on the ball. Both directions. And search for an area that feels like it has more thickness to the musculature. Dense. You can tell what's bone and you can tell what's muscle. You want to grab onto that thick piece of muscle on there, walk your thigh out just a little bit so that you've got extension, pressure down into the floor, and then you're going to tip and lean away from where that silver ball is. The ribs will begin to lift away from the top of the pelvis. The floating ribs are going to come with the fixed rib cage, and there's going to be some sort of point of stretch on there. And you're going to take your fingers and begin to explore that area, dig down. I want you to notice that when you sit up, neutral on there, and things get very soft. You could go in. If you tipped over to the same side, you could explore in more. By tipping away from the ball, what we're doing is making the abdominal wall taut. You are bringing out to closer to the surface the third layer in of musculature. When you've got the problems, you can feel the edges of quadratus lumborum tucked into the corner back there. Choose your spot where it feels tight, and we're going to begin with a pelvic circle on there. So the ribs are tipped over to keep that pull and extension, and you're going to shift your weight slowly over the surface of the ball on there. How does this leg feel? Are there any points where things start to cramp? Or in this case, like my heel, no problem staying down. It's not all pulling up. So there is something that exists in my right leg that is not in my left leg on there. The symmetry of your body allows you to analyze this, let you figure out exactly what is in there, pin it down on there. So now we're going to tip over a little bit more, and we're going to start with the rib circle. Pelvis stays still, but feel the weight shift over your legs. Do your legs protest? Does something cramp as you shift the weight on there? Stop if you feel something showing up in your leg. Hold yourself still and allow your body to work out that problem. Breathe, sink, tip over just a little bit more. Let it release one last time. All right, and then we're going to finish just a couple more circles on your pelvis. And stand up. Take a little walk with that. Now just walking. See if things feel even. Again, check the weight into the legs. on there, the soles of your feet, how is it feeling changed on there? Okay, I'm gonna slide this back against the wall on there. We're gonna work like we have a chair here with this bench on there. I'm gonna take the couple of black balls here. So your back is going to be at the wall on there. We're going to take one black ball and put it just in front of your right sits bone so that you can come down and have the ball just in front so that your butt can kind of come down in behind on there. I think it's really hard to see, but it should feel like it's just propping up your leg, so it makes it very easy to just kind of hold and dangle there. Got the second one ready to go. We're gonna bring the silver ball underneath your knee. You're gonna put it right in the joint of your knee so that when it comes down, you can pull into the calf muscle on there. We're really just using the edge of the bench to support that ball. On there. So now you have a nice lock on your leg. On there, we're gonna grip the bench with your leg and tip forward. I'm gonna take that last black ball right at the bottom of the fixed rib cage. So as you sit up tall on there, go to the end of the bench here. Black ball, silver ball, black ball goes here. We're gonna pull in with your heel and tip forward until you can feel a pull all the way up through the back of your neck. And there, the key is just that little bit of squeeze with the lower leg on there. And then we're gonna start to twist towards the right, towards the balls. And lengthen your head out of your spine as you twist and breathe. Create resistance between your knee and your left hand. As you reach up and slightly out to the right with your knee, you're pulling down and back to the left with your hand. Turn your neck. Feel the relationship between that black ball at the bottom of the rib cage and the muscular that runs up through the side of your neck. Take a moment and relax your leg just a little bit so the squeeze isn't going, and do the same twist. And feel how it's very different. There's a lack of engagement on there as you, without that leg. Give the leg a squeeze and then feel the rotation and where it gets stuck. Feel the relationship between that musculature on the outside of your leg and the things that run up to the back of the ribs on there. And I want you to see if you can find a spot that really starts to sting up at the front of your shoulder blade on there. It's going to be somewhere on the front of the rib cage. So you're going to reach up with your left hand and pin down the front of your rib cage so that you can hold the musculature just a little bit. Circle your head and find just a fantastic stretch that goes from the outside of your toes through the hip. Press the ribs into the wall, extend, and you're pressing down into the bench with your fingertips. And let that relax. Now we're going to slide everything just a little bit to the left on there, so the black ball that started out in front of your sits bone is going to end up just to the outside of the femur. We're going to go into that short pocket of the biceps femoris, and you're going to bring your leg back around the ball We're gonna move it just a little bit lower, closer, about halfway down your calf muscle to the ankle so that you can grab your knee. And one more time, we're gonna pull in with the heel, pull in with your interlaced fingers, squeeze, lift, and twist. And breathe. The shoulder blade is gonna go down. Check yourself, see if it's shrugging up. We're gonna pull that shoulder blade down. Turn your face, turn your head, extend as tall as you can go. Deep breath in at the top. We're gonna exhale. Relax on there. Take that silver ball out for just a moment. Extend your legs. So we're gonna bring that silver ball into your right hand so you can use it as an extender for your arm. Press out, lengthen, reach with your torso, and roll your foot in a circle. Feel those very tight, twingy lines going down the leg on there. Stop your foot on a place where you get a really nice stretch going all the way down the leg. Press down with your hand, pull those shoulder blades down, hip forward. Several deep breaths of relaxation. And then we're going to slowly bring that leg down. On there. Pull both balls out for just a moment and stand up. And let's take a little walk with that on there. Again, feel your feet on there. Breathe into the changes that you've created in your body on there. You can do a little curl down, reach, and feel the release at the back of the thigh. The new space that's available in your ribcage as you breathe. And take that over to the left side. You're going to sit down with your back tight to the wall, and then you're going to pull the black ball just in front of your sits bone. That's going to bring the silver ball out from your knee, and the black ball is going to go at the bottom of your fixed ribs on there so that you're pinned nicely all the way up and down. So we're going to set up here. Just a little bit better shot. Then grab. Squeezing with the leg on there. Begin by noticing what's different about this left-hand side. Is there more information? Do you get more of like a crampy feeling up in your neck on there? Does the density and the texture of the muscles on the left side of your spine feel different on it? Reach down for just a little support of that leg squeeze. And then we're going to start to rotate. And you're going to get to a point where you can't turn anymore. We're going to breathe into that area. Breathe, stretch, turn. Relax for just a moment, let them drop down. As you relax, if you can feel there's going to be kind of a texture line that grabs you. It's going to pull. You're going to notice it coming down from the rib cage all the way to the pelvis and the hips. One more time, squeeze the leg, pull across, right hand to left knee, twist and rotate. And slowly release down, sink down into the back of your leg. We're going to shift your body just a little bit to the right. Both balls roll out to the left slightly. And what we're interested in is finding the pocket that's the short head of biceps femoris in your leg on there. There should feel like there's a little kind of eye-shaped hollow that ball will tuck into between gluteus maximus and that short-headed biceps femoris. Replace that ball at the halfway point down your calf, just as where your Achilles tendon is starting. Interlace your fingers in front of the knee so you can squeeze. And we're going to turn, extend, rotate, reach over, with your hand. If you can rotate a little bit more, reach out with your head. Take just a moment there. When you feel the stretch on your chest, take your fingertips, press in and hold. Stretch your head up and away and feel where the issue kind of weaves through the musculature. See if you can connect it all the way down to your pelvis. We're going to take that silver ball out for just a moment. Sink down, reach over and press down with your hand, twist and extend, and breathe. And allow your head, the musculature running down from your neck that ends about halfway down the rib cage, an opportunity to get longer, lengthen out, soften, and really wait through those burning bits. All right, we're going to release. Take the balls out. A little bit of a walk around. Roll your shoulders in circles. Feel what you've been accomplishing to open up that space on there. And we're going to stand up and do a little work on the side. Let's see here. We're going to go for okay. We're going to do some work on the side of the rib cage, or sorry, the side of the neck here. So we're going to tuck the ball in the space at the top of your shoulder here. So you're going to tip your head to the side, climb up next to the wall. So the key here is having a knee bend as you lean into the wall on there. So the ball will go from where your collarbone and shoulder meet each other up to the bottom of the skull and your ear. You should be able to find a nice flat shelf on here. Now, that top, that vary from just your earlobe and down through the top of the shoulder, that's as far forward as we're going to go. If you start to back up again to the front of the neck, it gets a little kind of tilty feeling. We're going to go from here back around to the back of the shoulder blade on there. So you're going to do a series of slow up and down moves. As you stand up, notice your shoulders going up in the ball. When the ball is pushing down, there's a point where you will get stuck. You will not be able to go up any further because of the grab at your shoulder blade and your inability to detach those muscles running up to the back of your skull. Move your head until you feel a nice stretch going up to the back of your skull. I want you to reach back with your fingertips and grab onto the back of your head with your fingertips. Come around and create resistance. Press back with your head into your fingertips. Pull your arm and shoulder blade down to the floor and hold that for about 2 breath cycles. Pressing back with the head, down with the arm, and we're going to relax. Go back to the up and down. Now we're going to pivot just a little bit out to your left into the center of the room and feel how the track behind your neck gets a little more thick. The musculature is a little easier to hold on to. Pin it down. I want you to find that top corner of your shoulder blade. We're going to pin it down on there. Nice solid hold. You're going to bring your elbow against the wall. That's going to lock the shoulder blade in place. And we're going to turn the rib cage back towards the wall. So the key, you're drawing your elbow into the wall, pulling the rib cage below, down, and behind, and just really sink into the upper trapezius, supraspinatus. Dig down. Now you're going to lift and turn. You're still pressing into the wall with your elbow. Turn your head away and relax. Back to the up and down. We're going to take just a moment and shake out your shoulders there and see what you've accomplished on there. Is your shoulder a different height on there? Do your arms appear to be different lengths? And then we're going to take this work to the front of the ribs on here. So you're going to pin the silver ball at your armpit. Take a black ball in your hand. A little better shot there. So we're going to reach up, take the black ball the silver ball into the armpit on there. It's going to sink in between shoulder blades in the back, and those pectoral muscles are in the front. Lift up. We're going to grab the wall with the black ball on there. Start by turning downwards, trying to climb up the wall. Get your arm anchored, and then we're going to lower the rib cage. Pull it down. So you're going in two separate directions at the same time. Hold that for 2 breath cycles, in and out. And we're going to relax. Flip your hands so you're carrying a tray. Push up from the heel of your hand. Back the ribs down towards the floor one more. And we're going to let everything relax on there. Bring the silver ball to the edge of the shoulder blade. You're going to feel a very sort of harder surface. I want you to drop from the pit feeling area onto the ridge of the shoulder blade. We're going to start with just a gentle circle, a couple times in both directions. And I want you to pin down something that feels tight, maybe a little sore, and we're going to brace the black ball against the wall. Now you're going to push it away with the heel of your hand and walk yourself behind. Once you stabilize with your hand so you can pull your hips behind you just a little bit more and stretch everything out. Think about pulling the top of your pelvic crest away from the silver ball as you reach and extend and press. See if you can get a calf stretch going down on that side. And breathe, and we're going to bring the arm down to 90 degrees. You have a nice bend, rib cage to shoulder. The arm is locked, and we're going to bring the rib cage around to the front. You're trying to push the world away with the pinky side of your hand, and the ribs are going to leave the shoulder blade and rotate. Breathe, and then come back to neutral. Walk it all the way around. Open your arm up, go as far as you can in the other direction, and pull the left shoulder blade behind you. And breathe, and open. We're going to turn that palm face into the wall, push the world behind you, tip away, and breathe. And we're going to come back around with the shoulder pivot. Bring your arm down to the side and do a little circle. So we're trying to get to the deltoid muscles here at the top. You might have to do a little readjustment there. So just circle with the shoulder. Experiment with moving through your knees and torso to get that circle, and then pausing and just working the shoulder blade over the back surface on there. Look for, it's going to feel like kind of like a speed bump on the side of your shoulder, one that you want to pin down, and then you're going to tip your head away from the silver ball. There's going to be a line of tension that emerges. I want you to reach with your fingertips, pin down that line. Hold it down with your fingertips. Now I want you to notice how if you bring your head closer to the wall, it gets soft. You can now sink in and push down into the top of your shoulder. This pulls the muscles out, makes them taut, gives you a nice place to grab onto. So pin and hold at the top of the trapezius muscle. We're working on splenius, a couple layers on there. And circle your pelvis from down below. You can brace your hand against the wall just a little bit. But think of pulling the ribs down from below your collarbone. Pause, where you get a point where it stretches nicely in your hip, and breathe. So we're pressing out into the wall with the back of your right hand, with your head, and reaching down with the hip and pelvis. See if you can get a nice, long, slow unwind up through the musculature of the ribs. Now we're gonna go from here. You're gonna swing that right arm out, turn and face the wall. The wall is gonna start where the collarbone and the sternum meet each other. Black ball is in your right hand. Your left hand is gonna push into the silver ball, and you're gonna turn your head away from the black ball, stretch and elongate. Try and pull the world towards you with that right hand as you turn your face to the left. And release. Move your body to the left. The ball's going to roll to the right. On there, grab on one more time. Twist and pull. On there. So we're hyperextending because the arm stays behind with the wall. On there. Breathe and twist and elongate. And then we're going to bring it back to the front. One more move. Find the head of your shoulder joint on there. Sweep that arm out and twist. This time we're going to turn and rotate and breathe. Flip that hand out so that the base of your hand is pointing away. And you can push the world behind you. Breathe. Lift the ribs. Separate away from your pelvis. And then one more time, just bring that shoulder down for a quick little shake it out. Fluff up all the way to the back, and we're going to catch that ball. Shake everything out. Maybe set your balls down for just a moment and feel what you've accomplished with your shoulders. Notice how that shoulder is now hanging a little bit further behind in the body. On there, you can test that by feeling this for the seam of your pants on the side where the middle finger sets. Again, your arms may appear to be different lengths. Check that out. And then we're going to start on the left side. So take the ball on the left. Just going to have to shoot this different. Okay, we're going to drop down low. Keep that sunshine out. Pin the left side of your neck and shoulder to the wall. On there, a very slow up and down. You should be able to sink down and hit the base of your skull. Hang out there, slowly go up and press into the top of the shoulder blade on there. And feel like you can push your arm down. Up and down, slowly on there. We're gonna stop when we get to the top of that shoulder blade, sink down, press lightly into the wall with your hand, and we're gonna pull the head away, searching for a line of tension, and breathe. See if you can feel for some burn going up and down the neck. Go back into the up and down one more time. And we're gonna go slightly further behind. Find the top of that shoulder blade corner. Press into the wall with your hand and turn the rib cage away. And breathe. And there. See if you can feel some stretch going down into your fingers or hand. You can move, utilize those fingers, press into the ball, press into the wall. Really breathe to that burny feeling on there. Breathe. All right. And we're going to do a slow release on there. And my tape's going to come on. Okay, so we're going to bring that ball to the armpit. So stick it into the armpit structure, pin yourself against the wall on there, and your hand is going to begin by climbing up the wall with the ball, and your hand is pulling you down, sinking into the armpit, and then you're going to pull the rest of your pelvis down into a stretch. See if you can get a calf stretch from behind, and then let it relax for a couple of breaths. Pick up the pull again, going multi-directionally here. Up, stretching the arm, climbing the wall, pulling the pelvis and the left leg down and away to lengthen. See if you can feel that kind of fiber array on the side of your rib cage. You can tip your head away. We're going to start to sink forward, and you're going to move to find the edge of your shoulder blade. Breathe into that, circle it around. Pin down something that feels a little tight, a little sore, and we're gonna take the hand like you're holding a tray, push up on the black ball and pull your pelvis down and away as you stretch. You can step your leg back on there if you want to, whatever gives you the line that you need. Pin, stretch, and hold. We're going to change it, climb the wall just a little bit and extend and breathe. Really notice that burn on there. If you get that burning sensation, stay with it on there. Give it enough time to really start to fade, temper, move away on there. Your brain turns down that sensation to let you know that you've successfully cut free and cleared a piece of scar tissue on there. All right, we're going to give your arm a little break. We're going to bring that down to the wall at 90 degrees, and we're going to grab the wall on here. So you're pushing the world away with your left arm, and then you're going to rotate the ribs behind you. Draw them out from underneath the shoulder blade. Notice if you feel any interesting points of kind of horizontal pull. And we're going to reverse push out with your fingers and your palm, still pulling the ribs behind you. On there, and we're going to take a break with that. You're going to open the rib cage, push the world behind you, rotate as far as you can. Press into the wall, turn your head to the right, and then come back. Give your shoulder a full break, hang the arm down at the side. And we're going to go look for the deltoid skin. You might have to readjust a little bit here. So we're just staying to the upper part of the sleeve, meets the body of your shirt, that kind of triangle area of musculature. Find a little speed bump. You're going to pin it down, and you're going to tip your head away on there. Find a line of muscle that pulls down, and there's going to be a kind of a crisscross connection between, see if you can make a little bit flare up in your neck as you roll on and off that lumpy chunky bit in the deltoid. Pin it down, get that nice feedback loop, and then reach up with your fingertips. Pin down your musculature and brace your arm against the wall. So once you've got the line pinned at the top of your rib cage, you're going to draw down with the lower ribs, about sliding out backwards from a sweater that somebody's holding on to the top, and you can back up with the rest of your body on there. As you sink down and pull your hip away on there, you're going to lengthen the musculature from a very interesting direction on there. It's the opposite of the normal compaction and motion that we're doing. Gives them a chance to stretch and pull out. All right, take a moment there, and then we're going to go into a chest stretch. Face the wall. The silver ball is going to go at the center line, just off to the left where the collarbone and the sternum. Black ball is in your hand. Bring it into the wall. Brace with your right hand. Sink to the right on there. You should feel a nice drag. Your face is turning to the right on there, and your hand is stretched out behind you, giving you resistance against the wall. Breathe and twist on there. Vary between pulling through your left hand or pushing away with the heel of the hand as you turn the ribs on there. All right, we're going to take a break. Roll your body to the right. Find the center line of the ribs. We're about halfway out the collarbone. Sink down, brace, twist, and breathe. As you twist the rib cage and try and leave that left arm behind, feel the long line of muscles going away from the center of the chest to the pectoral muscles attaching to the shoulder joint on there. And then the final move is you're going to find the front of your shoulder joint on the left on there and start to rotate forward on there. We're going to hyperextend, leaving that left arm behind you. Both shoulder blades reaching down, getting taller through the legs on there. And then we're going to release and just rest your shoulder, fluff up those deltoids one more time, and take a little break. Let's get back to this regularly scheduled position. All right, let's continue with that rib work on there. We're gonna go back to the seated position on there. Pin your We're going to take one black ball and put it down at the bottom of the fixed rib cage, just to the right of the spine on there. So as you go left to right just a little bit, you should feel like you're on the there's like a thick bump of musculature. If you continued further out onto the ribs on there, it will start to thin out and you're going to be able to feel the rib shape. I want you to stay on that vertical column. Pin down a place that feels nice and thick, and you're going to tip your head forward and slightly to the left on there. And I want you to look for something that talks to you right at the top of your shoulder blade on there. Take your fingertips and I want you to pin down that area of the shoulder blade on there, and then we're gonna take the extra black ball and use it as an extender at the side. You're going to press down into the top of the chair, or the edge of the chair, and just wiggle the arm and the humerus. Your shoulder blade is going to stay absolutely still here. Absolutely still. As you sweep in a pivot, I want you to stop when you feel something kind of flare up down your arm. Pause there, press down through the black ball and climb away with your head. Check your feet down below. Are you climbing up onto your toes, out of your heels? Reach your right heel down to the floor. Check that triplet again on there. Press down through the right heel, press down through the right hand, climb up and out left. And now we're going to start to arch your head back towards the wall, elongate the entire rib cage, wrap it over the ball at the back. Breathe. Now we're going to pivot towards your right hand, lengthen your spine, turn your head and climb up out of your pelvis. Really lengthen the muscles. It's going to feel like it pulls right at the base of your skull, like you can't turn anymore, like you can't climb any higher. Hold there. Give it about 3 breath cycles. See if you can wait for the musculature and the back of the traps to release. And we're going to come back to the front. On there, shake out your shoulder for just a moment. Let's pull the black ball out from the back. And breathe. That should feel significantly different on there. Should feel like there's a lot more space. The shoulder is a lot lighter and it moves on there. So let's replace that ball on the other side, the left. And again, the center of the spine, you're off to the left just a little bit. Find that thick, round, curved column of muscle on there. Differentiate it from the far left edge. And then find your own personal place on there. As you dig in on there, grab onto something that feels a little sore, talks back a little bit, or elicits a sensation somewhere else. Pause there. Pin it down, and then use the weight of your head to slow away to the side on there. That's a great deal of weight. It's going to pull up some restricted tissue, and you're going to grab onto it with just a couple of fingers, whatever's comfortable for you. Push in, push away towards your shoulder, and then we're going to use that black ball as the extender and wiggle the elbow. Move the upper arm, but the shoulder blade stays absolutely still. The sweep of the elbow is looking for a point where you have a lot of feedback information, and you're just going to pause there. Hold that line. Give it time to process on there. Once you've got a nice stretch going, say, down your arm, small moves with your head. Twist in the direction of the ball on the left. Try and extend that stretch all the way up to the base of your skull, to your pelvis. Tip and twist. Think about walking out of the back line of musculature. This front line, the center line, that's like an accordion, can stand up and leave. As you press back with your left hand, lift and separate. And pause. And sink down and take a little break there. Now, we're going to move both black balls. We're going to place one on each side below the 2 shoulder blade corners on there. You should be able to gently run the 2 points of your shoulder blades over the top of the black balls. Take your palms, push down on your thighs, climb upwards, see if you can reach the wall. We're going to press into the wall with the back of your head. Pull your shoulder blades around the balls, around the back of the rib cage. And notice where you feel some sensation at the bottom of your ribs and your fixed ribs. I want you to reach in, grab on lightly with your thumbs and your fingertips. Just push in and push down on there. Try and reshape the ribs where they want to flare up and lift. On there, you want to soften and hold. Breathe to create space all the way around the front and sides of your rib cage. On the exhale, soften. Let the elbows fall, let the shoulder blades fall. Curl your chin forward. All the way down until you feel the shoulder blades leaving the balls, and then curl your way back up on there. Bring that down for just a moment. So we're going to continue to work with that diaphragm for just a second. So you're going to find the bottom of the right side of your rib cage with a black ball. Locate it. There's a V. It will get soft in the middle, so find that edge on there. Roll it all the way around until you can come in just to the right of the spine on there, so that you know that as you tip back, the front of the rib cage is going to go up over that black ball just a little bit. We're going to take the other black ball and we're going to pin down from the outside front. Push in with your right hand and then support and hold with your left on here. Tip your head away and rotate to the right until your right elbow finds the wall. Then you're going to try and continue to turn. Pull your right hip back towards the wall. Turn your cheek up towards the ceiling like you're going to peer at the ceiling out of the corner of your right eye. And breathe. And the key is really sinking into the wall with your left elbow. You're trying to separate your rib cage from that left elbow. Slide that elbow down just a little bit closer to the floor. See if you can rotate a little bit more. A couple more breath cycles. And we're going to slowly unwind on there. I want you to take the black ball you're just working with, reach up and tuck it in at the top corner of your shoulder blade on there, and then catch the second black ball that was behind you on your way out on there. So as you go back and forth, you should be able, in the space between the inside top corner of your shoulder blade and the center of the spine. On there, you can see the ball beginning to sneak out just a little bit. I want it up that high, but it should not feel like it's about to jump out and you're going to fall back against the wall on there. So reach it over from the top and rest just barely against that inside edge of the shoulder blade. You should be able to probably create quite a bit of a zing up into your head. We're going to take that second black ball, pin it down to your thigh, anywhere in the middle, so that you're pushing down with your right hand. Turn your face to the left. So your shoulder blade is coming down, your elbow is coming down, following the hand. And you're going to rotate your face to the left. Look for small, zingy feelings going up to the base of your skull on there. If you'd like to support and put some fingers there, that will speed up your release on there, especially if it feels like it's a very sharp, kind of grabs you. If you just push a couple of fingers up into the base of your skull. Hold that line of muscle in place as you do small, tiny, gentle exploration with the movement of your head and neck. We're looking for tiny little muscles here. Find a point where you get a phenomenal stretch through the shoulder blade to the elbow, to the fingers. Squeeze and release with your fingers at the ball and feel the result up at your neck. Slowly let yourself out of that. That might be quite sore in your neck. We're going to pause and just circle the shoulder blade a few times on there. And then let's relax for just a moment and do that on the left. Okay, so we're gonna start low. We're gonna find the bottom of your left-hand side from the front, and then follow a straight line all the way around the ribs until you reach the back of the musculature. And as you pin, you'll be just to the left of the spine. Pin and locate on there. And then we're gonna take the other ball and with the front of your rib cage, use your left hand to put it in place on there. And then your right hand goes over the top to help pull it down and anchor. And then tip your head away. So the weight of your head is plenty of work for you. You are concentrating on keeping that shoulder blade reaching down, the elbow slightly reaching down. And then you're gonna find quite an intense line of pull, weaving down. Really concentrate on the breathing. Concentrate on the bits that feel burny, that feel kind of hot on there. Points that kind of suddenly jump up, get very intense because they feel like they're very close to possibly rupture. Slow your movements down. See if you can wait for that to melt and give way. And breathe. We're gonna turn to the left just a little bit. Extend that line. Really start to feel your shoulder blade. And we're gonna plan for that next point. Deep breaths into the diaphragm, releasing it. We're gonna arch back. Pull your upper rib cage away from your pelvis. Spread things out. All right, we're gonna take the ball from the front of your rib cage. You're gonna place it behind your back, in between the shoulder blade and the center of your spine, and then take the first black ball out from down low and search on there. The shoulder blade is a triangle on your back. I'm gonna use this like my spine. You should be in the space between the shoulder blade and the center of your spine. Shoulder blade and the center of your spine. You can tip your head away. We're gonna take that extra black ball and place it, push down right in the center of your thigh. As you tip your head away, this is gonna kind of catch that shoulder blade and keep it to the left. And you can start to turn in the direction of your left hand and arm, like you're gonna look up to the ceiling with the corner of your left eye. Deep breath. And check your surroundings here. Can you settle? Can you relax just a little bit more so that the weight of the body does the work for you? Breathe, concentrate on that burn. If you want to reach up and dig your fingers into something that kind of jumps up and becomes very apparent on there, or up at the base of your neck on there. At the skull, you can push in and support. You're keeping things from ripping apart while you create space and release in the rest of the musculature. Just see if you can feel that you're going like 5 different directions all at the same time. Sink your sits bone down as the head climbs up and out. Control your shoulder blade and the lines of musculature that attach at these top ribs. Press and turn. And then we're going to let everything relax. Slide to the center. And both black balls, we're going to put one ball right at the center where the V comes together at your sternum on there, and the other one goes at the front of the top of the sternum on here. The collarbones, we're going to interlace our fingers. Press back, hold down, roll down, and reach your head up and back. So you're climbing through the top of your head, not just cranking your chin back. As you pull into the chest and roll down, your shoulder blades are reaching down. Your elbows are, your head, your spine, they are climbing up and out. Try and create separation along the front of your abdominal area. Bring your chin down, reach out over your fingertips. We're going to give just a little squeeze onto whichever of your index fingers you can get a hold of there. So you're resting your chin on the ball to the side over your hand. So as you squeeze down with your head and neck, you're going to lever up out of the back of the rib cage, and you're going to turn off some interesting muscles on the side of your neck. On there. Press, reach, and extend. Lift your chin, roll the ball down to the middle of your sternum. Now we're going to go to the left, turn your face to the right. And I want you to comb back up those rib heads. Take about 3 or 4 passes from the center, going up the left-hand side. 3 or 4 stops and 2 passes. Then we're going to come back to the center and then do the right-hand side. Each time you roll the black ball up just a little bit. Stimulate the rib heads. Stimulate the bone structure of your sternum with that pressure on here. Whenever you find a sore spot, I want you to pause and breathe into that. I want you to take a moment here and let's appreciate the sternum for what it is on here at this time of needing a vaccine for something on here. Your body creates T cells, undifferentiated blood cells, future cells of any kind out of the sternum for your entire life, and at the very, very ends of your long bones on there. Most of the other bone marrow quits producing new cells on there. But this sternal area, you want it to be pumping out cells for you, because they can turn into your own cells, or they could turn into T cells that can fight off viruses. And once you've met that virus and survived, you've got a T cell to fight it off on there. So you want your production right behind the structure of the sternum is the tube where all of the lymphatic drainage that has come from your fingertips and toes, it has made it through battles at the lymph nodes in the armpits and the neck, at different organ points in the body. The disinfection battle has taken place there, and whatever ends up in this tube is ready to get dumped back into your central blood supply. Deep breathing, jostling movement, and laughter are going to dump that detoxified lymphatic fluid and suck up the stuff from your extremities, constantly moving the fluid through that system. Because if it doesn't stay still, the virus doesn't have a time to grow in a particular area. It's constantly getting washed away by your bloodstream. It's constantly getting attacked by the cells that you can generate in your body to help fight it off on here. So let's find one more time. We're gonna go for a last deep breathing move on here. We're gonna take a ball down to the right sits bone, circle around on your pelvis on there. Let's pull that silver up. Slide forward so that your ball is running just up the back of your pelvis, and you're going to catch the edge of your sacrum, facing forward on there. You're going to put your right hand on the silver ball off to the side. You're going to tip forward like you're about to stand up. Your head goes forward, and I want you to listen for any sort of interesting sensation at the upper ribs, and you're going to pin it with that black ball. And you're going to practice the weight shift of standing up, reaching the rib cage forward, sinking the weight into the feet, and then relax it back down. Feel the weight shift as it ripples through the musculature, the intertwining between the ribs. Listen for crampy feelings at the back of the ribs. When you get one of those, I want you to curve forward and try and separate the ribs and the vertebrae of your spine. So we're tipping forward and to the left. Lengthen. See if you can feel a nice connection between the stretch that you're getting down to the hip and the base of your thumb. And a zone kind of at the bottom of the fixed ribs. Let's take a break with that. Pull that black ball out and release. We're going to take it over to the left-hand side, climb up, do a little circle, switching that silver ball over to the left hand. And we're going to slide forward, settle in so that the ball, that black ball is lifting up into the sciatic nerve. Press down with your left hand. And as you tip forward and over, again, preparing to stand up and then shift back. Prepare to stand up and shift back. Look for some complaining area at the top, and we're going to grab onto that. And again, as you practice this movement, you are interested in where you cannot move, where it is difficult to move. See if you can find a point where it may not hurt, it just stops you. It's difficult to shift the weight. It's difficult to press down. And breathe. And as you find a good line, we're going to twist, tip your head, rotate towards the left, and expand all the way down from the top of your head. See if you can feel it pull in your jaw, all the way to the most inside portion of your pelvis, the back of the sacrum. And we're going to release and take that black ball out. And take a walk with all of that. See what you're doing. Shake out your legs and your shoulders. Okay. We're going to finish up with a spinal roll here with 3 balls on there. So we're going to begin, keep the black balls close by. On there, we're going to take the silver ball, pull it into the base of your spine, and sink back against it on there. So notice you might have slippery layers of closed, sink back on there. And take a moment, just press down with both hands, pull your shoulder blades back, lift the sternum and chest. Several deep breaths here. Squeezing the shoulder blades towards the floor, drawing them back. And then we're going to release on there. Take your palms to the floor, press up so that your sacrum is on top of the silver ball. Widen your feet. Do a nice circle here. I'm not going to be able to live with that noise. Okay. Pull in the base of the spine. Circle gently at your sacrum. Imprint at the triangle of the sacrum. Sink down. Roll up just enough to feel the top of your pelvis. And you're going to reach down and tuck those black balls at the ends of your sits bones. They're beyond, so that you're going to roll up on top of the sits bones. Take a moment there, and you should be able to just Stimulate those sits bones, keeping a little bit of the spinal weight and pressure at the silver ball. Do a small circle with your pelvis. Then go the other direction. Imagine massaging your sciatic nerve as it came out of your pelvis. On there. That's what we're going for. Pause on a place that feels a little twingy. Settle back. Bring your palms out to your knees. Let's roll both of those balls up to the back of the pelvis on here. So we're beyond the sits bones. We're on the meaty part of to each side of the sacrum, and you're going to be able to interlace your fingers behind your head. Pin down a spot that feels tight at the bottom of your rib cage on there. We're going to turn to the right. I want you to reach your right arm up over your head, bring it back behind you, reach the palm to the floor so that you can now anchor and push down and rotate the ribs around that palm. See if you can get a little stretch with your neck and breathe. We're trying to pull the rib cage down away from where the right hand is pushing up into the floor reach with your hips and your pelvis. 3 breath cycles at least. And then we're going to rotate back. Bring that head behind your hand behind your head. Extend your left hand. Take it to the floor and then rotate. Try and use just the torso to do this turn. Pull the ribs away from the palm. Reach with the hip and pelvis. Do the opposite of what gravity does to you. Draw yourself towards your own heels, out from the armpit. Elongate. Breathe and extend. After 3 full breath cycles with that on there, we're going to start to rotate back. Slow, even everything out. Bring your hand behind your head. And we're going to roll up through the shoulder blades on there. So we're going to stop whenever you find the top of your pelvic crest with the black balls and wherever the silver ball is resting in between the shoulder blades. And we're going to pause there. Squeeze your shoulder blades together in the center of your back. Reach your hips over the black balls, away from the silver ball towards your heel. Your head into your interlaced hands, and especially the thumbs are digging into the base of your skull. Try and spread out, unfurl from behind your belly button, and then release. Rest. As you release, what feels different? There may be sort of a gathering compression up amongst your shoulder blades at the top. We're going to fold those elbows up towards the ceiling. Pull your head forward until you get a nice neck curve, and then you can press back with your head. Nice separation and elongation, slowly with resistance. Come back into extension. When you're neutral, open up your elbows on there. And then we're going to roll it up to the back of the neck. Take a moment here, pause, get rid of all that shirt material that's wadded up at the top on there. And we're going to pull those black balls this moment. We're going to take them and we're going to pin them just below the shoulder blade corners on the back of the ribs. Take a moment there and take your arms out wide to a T and rest. Just like gravity, the shoulder, the upper arm from the shoulder blade. Sink into the fingers where you feel sensation. Reach. Use the ground as the reference point to spread back and reach right and left at the same time. Breathe to the soles of your feet. We're gonna snow angel those arms up over the top of your head. Do a nice extension stretch with the palms facing each other, and then we're gonna bring fingertips down, grasp lightly at the top of your head, tuck down with your chin. Press with your feet, flatten your ribs into the black balls. Lower down to the rib cage on there. Release the neck, walk your feet in, nice and tight, a little bit wider than your hips. Open the elbows so you're ready to pick up your head. And you're gonna press with your feet, interlace your fingers behind your head, and slowly roll yourself to upward plank. Shoulder blades and the black balls are on the back of your pelvis. Press back with your head into your interlaced fingers. Reach with your elbows out. Open the whole body with your breath. See if you can reach back, find the floor with your elbows, maybe even your head. You could stack a fist behind your head and passively elongate the spine. Release into the calf muscles one by one. Flex your toes toward your nose. We're going to bend the knees, draw yourself, and do a nice little sit-up on there. All right. Thanks so much on there, and we'll see you again next time.